Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Williams. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is, at Egberto Williams. Let us engage. It is politics done right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Williams, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show today. We are going to have a great show for you today. But let me tell you, folks, you probably already know what's going on, and it's something that I definitely want to discuss. It is about what? It is about they found the person. They found the guy. And remember those stories that were going around? Oh, it's probably a hoax. Oh, it was something created by likely the Democrats or their sympathizers. And the reason they did that is because what they wanted to do is they wanted to somehow make folks believe, it's all convoluted, make folks believe that it was the Republicans who did it. And by them doing this, oh my God, what we're going to find out is, well, it was the Democrats. Well, folks, nothing to the contrary. What really has happened is that it turns out that it was, in fact, a Republican sympathizer, not only a Republican sympathizer, but a very staunch supporter of Donald Trump and a supporter that shared the same proclivities of the president. A supporter that hated, a supporter that had all those things on the line. So when the spin comes out that tries to give the impression that this is just some deranged person out there that decided to do what they wanted to do, that somehow that is the issue. This ought to be, first of all, this must be a partisan response. I know I try to bring people together and all of that sort of stuff, but in this case, in today's reality, there must be a partisan response to this. Actually, it should be a bipartisan response, but all of them should be specifically blaming the president. Blaming the president for the environment that he's created. Blaming the president for what he has done. Blaming the president for never backing down. Blaming the president for suggesting that folks hurt reporters, that folks slam reporters, that folks do all that sort of thing. Well, you know, folks, it is time for us to really get serious about how we deal with these issues, right? I mean, we can't back down and somehow sing glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, it's somehow it's a deranged person that did this, and somehow we give the president a pass. We cannot do that this time around. We simply cannot do that. We have to play the hands that was given us. And when I say play the hands that was given us, I don't mean playing a bad hand or somehow taking advantage, but being first of all, telling the truth, but secondly, remembering that there's a new game, how politics is played. And unless you play that game, until we change it to a civil type of politics again, one must pay the price. And in this case, the Republican Party, or all those in the party supporting this president who has created the environment that effected this evil on everybody. It is imperative that we do that. We cannot allow this one to go by without doing something about it. And when I say something about it, that is exactly what I mean. Every single American citizen right now should be out there talking about this, what occurred here with the bombing, who the bomber was, what he did, and within the context of how it was done. Folks, if you're just joining us, please go ahead and share this program. That is how we get this message across. We're going to be talking about several other issues as well, but let's go ahead and get this bombing issue taken care of firsthand, because it is an issue It is something that we just can't let go by. Folks, it's a call-in show. Give us a call at 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. If you have anything that you'd like to add to the discussion, please give us a call. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Just went ahead and upgraded our Wirecast product. So we're going to have a different set, and the green screen will be working better for now. Sorry for the interesting kind of color configuration that we're doing right now, but all of that will be taken care of. 646-716-5812. What's the title of the program today? Bomber caught. And guess what? He is a Trump-worshipping Republican. Again, title of the show, Bomber caught. And guess what? He is a Trump-worshipping Republican. Subtitle, it has been a slow train of violence that can be directly tied to the hateful words and acts emanating from Donald Trump, the Electoral College but not popular vote getting president. This guy didn't win the popular vote, and instead of trying to reunite the country, instead of trying to put people together, instead of trying to govern in a manner commensurate with the way he won, which is he did not win. He owes so much to the country that gave him an electoral college where the minority of the people could elect him. And instead, what did he do? He in as much as he was a minority, instead of trying to bring people in, what did he do? He raised hell. He pushed hate. He pushed all these things. He must pay. And you can't let him off the hook. You can't let him weasel out of taking responsibility for this. You can't allow him to get away from taking responsibility from that person that sent bombs to several Democrats, because the map, he laid the map. Donald Trump laid the map used by whom? Cesar Sayoc. Cesar Sayoc. That's the name of the bomber. But you could replace Cesar Sayoc with Donald Trump. I heard Van Jones on CNN saying a few minutes ago, oh, you can't blame what other people do on the president. You can never do that. You can't do that when you have a president that is trying to unite. You can't do that when you have a president that is not overtly trying to get to the carnality, to work on the people's carnality. You can't do that then. But in this case, out of President Trump's own mouth, he's told people, beat up on other folks. I'll pay the price to take you out of jail. He's talked about congratulating a congressman who went ahead and beat up a journalist. And he said, thank you very much. Man, do you have to respect a guy like that? Yes, it is true. You cannot blame the president for the acts of other people in most cases. In this case, it is a what's the word that I like to use? It is a miscarriage of justice if he's not blamed for this. In this case, it would be a dereliction of duty if he was not blamed for this. In this case, it would be political malpractice if one does not blame Donald Trump for the essence of sending over 14 bombs. 14 bombs that are not a hoax according to the FBI, according to his own FBI. According to his own FBI. 14 bombs. They were not a hoax. They were meant to kill. They were meant to maim. They were meant to destroy. They were meant to hurt. This is almost as if I am back in Central America. As most of you know by now, I am originally from Central America. Those things are things you don't hear about occurring in this form politically against one's political opponents in America. But under Trump, it's a new day. The thug in chief has done all that is necessary to foment all kinds of hate among folks who never hated each other. Fomented all kind of hate that many of us were working on because of culture, because of how we were reared, because to date, the scandal to date, the scourge to date, the infection to date, the cancer under which this country was founded was slowly being mitigated. But then we got Donald Trump playing on the fears of people failed by a plutocracy. I understand what a lot of my left-wing brothers and sisters are saying. Don't blame it on economy and all of that kind of stuff. It's that these people are bona fide just racists. Two things don't have to be mutually exclusive, but above that, racism tends to rear its head when people are in economic distress more so than not. It is always there, but we have to be practical. If everybody is happy, if everybody is flushed with money, if everybody is in a system where they feel they can get ahead, even the privileged forget maybe that some of them are fundamentally racist. And it is a concept. So Donald Trump was the perfect person to give the plutocracy just a little bit more time. So we fight like hell among each other. We fight like hell among each other, and we take our eyes off the ball. We take our eyes off those who are really pilfering the American people. We take our eyes off the ball who are really screwing us. We're taking the eye off the ball off of the real folk in this country that is causing the dissension. It's all by design. If you take your eyes off the ball, you fight each other, you get nowhere. And that's why we've been spinning our wheels for so long. Donald Trump is just the culmination. He didn't start it. He's just the culmination of what the plutocracy has been doing for quite some decades right now to ensure that we kept people fighting among each other so that they forget or don't realize that the people who are hurting them, the people who they need to fight the most, are the ones in power, the ones with finances, the ones with all the money being ripped off from whom? From you. All of this ties in together. All of this ties in together. So, subtitle, it has been a slow train of violence that can be directly tied to the hateful words and acts emanating from Donald Trump, the Electoral College, but not the popular vote getting president. Many have been warning for some time that President Trump is a clear and present danger to the United States of America. I've been saying that for a long darn time. President Trump is a clear and present danger to the country. Point, stop, full stop. He's a clear and present danger to the country. It is bad enough that he is likely a traitor based on his relationship with Vladimir Putin and his likely money laundering for Russian oligarchs using his real estate business. You notice I don't talk about Russia and Putin much on any of my shows or the blogs that I write, and the reason why is I think, you know what, right now that none of that affects individually the personal economy of Americans. But I bring it up today just to illustrate what the cancer that is this person. The cancer that is this person. He's likely a traitor. He sat in the White House with Russians talking about the FBI and giving them classified information in the Oval Office. That's a traitor. What else did he do? He cleaned money for Russians. How do we know that? Russians aren't stupid, but they bought inflated real estate for what cause? To clean money. So don't let anybody fool you. Let's talk about the relocation of the FBI headquarters. We can talk about channeling people to his hotel in D.C. The guy is a bona fide crook. That's who runs us as a president, and all that is occurring right now. Everything that you're seeing right now with the bombings and the delivery of bombs and all of that is a direct relation between the president, what he says, and who he is. It is so important for folks to understand that. My mother used to tell me, you sleep with dogs, you rise with fleas. All of the people right now that collude with Donald Trump, all those politicians who are tying their fate with Donald Trump, Senator Cruz, who had a fairly large rally in Houston, but not nearly as large as the pictures would indicate. We've had larger several times. Selling his soul to get his support because he believed most Texans are racist. He does. He believes most Texans want the presidential rhetoric to do what it's doing right now. But I have news for you, brother. I have news for you. If our people go out there and vote, man, is it going to be a new day. Man, is it going to be a new day. Let me finish this, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the vote and a few things that are happening here in Texas and a few things that you guys need to make sure is not happening elsewhere. But anyhow, so let me repeat the sentence. Many have been warning for some time that President Donald Trump is a clear and present danger to the United States of America. It is bad enough that he's likely a traitor based on his relationship with Vladimir Putin and his likely money laundering for Russian oligarchs using his real estate business. But of more immediacy is his direct danger to every single American. A young woman, Heather Heyer, has already died at the hands of white supremacists who the president defended. We almost had a large number of Democratic politicians injured, maimed, or killed by Cesar Sayoc. And who is Cesar Sayoc? A Trump-worshipping Republican whose van is filled up. Filled up. And it would be nice if I could find a picture to show you what his van looked like. But his van filled up with what? With Trump-loving caricatures, with people, with showing the hate. It is just amazing. Let's see if I can. I'm on the internet now. What I'm going to try to do is see if I can find you some of Sayoc, what Sayoc van looks like. Because, folks, this is real. This is real. This is no joke. And, folks that are just out there thinking that just maybe, things are not as bad as they seem. They are. They are as bad as they seem. It looks like I'll be able to, let me save this image here and see if I can bring it up for you guys, because I really want you guys to see what we're talking about here, because folks don't get it. I found a picture of his van, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up on the screen right now so that those of you on Facebook Live can see it. Let's see if I can go ahead and bring that up here, because folks, and those that are listening to this stuff on Blog Talk Radio, sorry that you can't see the picture that I'm going to put up there right now, but to tell you, it says it all. Okay, let's see now. All right, that is what it looks like, folks. That is what it looks like. All the slogans all over his van, showing his love for Trump, his hate for others, is right there. It is right there. So don't let anybody fool you. This is real. This is real. And this is all driven by Donald Trump. If you are a Republican, if you are a Democrat, I don't care who you are at this point in time. Whoever you are right now, you ought to be condemning this guy, and you ought to be making sure that in midterm 2018, the election of 2018, if you are voting for any, and I repeat this without hesitation, if you are voting for any Republican who has not publicly renounced Donald Trump, if you have friends that are black, Latino, Asians, Middle Easterns, or anything, if you are voting for Republicans and they have not renounced Donald Trump, you are supporting, you are in direct support of hate towards those you're calling your friends and should be held accountable as such. Because this, at this point, is existential. You should put yourself in the skins. Put yourself in the bodies. Look through the eyes of those who this guy has maligned, who this guy has displayed hate on, who this guy has continuously tried to hurt. Your support for anybody who is going to be there to further his agenda is an attack by you indirectly on them. So while you have your friends that you're a nice person, and because of, you hang around everybody, do remember that. And I've already told that to many of my Republican friends. When you go into that booth, your vote is between you, your God, and that machine. Nobody knows. But if you go in there and vote for any Republican person that has not renounced Donald Trump, you're voting to hurt those you call your friends who are not of the Caucasian persuasion. Because you would be, in fact, voting for supporters of a white nationalist, a white supremacist, who, by his company and by his words, has no or gives no value to those people, and in fact, only will want hurt onto them. So, folks, it's not a difficult choice. When you go in the booth, you can tell people you vote any way you want to tell people you vote. But when you go into that booth, just on that issue alone, you should be voting against every single Republican who has not renounced this man. But secondly, if you really cared about your family, your friends, your health care, and women issues, and much more, farmers issues, and much more, instead of buying the rhetoric and lies and being willfully ignorant on the issues, which are mathematically viewable at any point in time if one wants to, again, a Republican vote is a clear and present danger to your personal economy and the personal economy of most. These are these are qualifiable and quantifiable statements I'm making here. It's not partisan. They are quantifiable and qualifiable. Completely. We can show how an election or keeping the status quo will materially hurt the country. We will continue on the tax cutting and spending binge. The state of the economy, which right now some have the sugar high of it being good. Well, the stock market is starting to wake up to what's really happening in the economy. And if we don't, we will pay the price ultimately. And it's not the wealthy folk that pay the price. It is always you. There are several studies that come out. They are irrefutable. That will tell you straight up. The economy always does better under Democrats. And it's not because it's a partisan thing again. It's a mathematical thing why the economy does better under Democrats. And the reason why is Democrats do spend more on the little person. Not, I mean, and I don't want to be super nice to Democrats now. Democrats have a whole lot of problems, especially the establishment Democrats. Okay, they are not sufficiently progressive, but beyond that, they are the best we've got until we populate the entire realm of Democrats with progressive Democrats. But for now, they are what they are, and they are much better, and the economy does better under them. Why? Because they flow more money to people in the bottom 80%. And if you flow more money there, those are the people who spend. And if those are the people who spend, the economy does better. This is just how reality works. And I hope folks understand that. So whether you're Republican or Democrat, voting Republican this year specifically will hurt you, will hurt your personal economy, and will ensure that the social programs that many of you depend on, irrespective of party, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, will get less. You can't, there's no two ways about it, because the Republicans simply will not raise the taxes necessary from what they've cut. They won't do it at all. So, folks, it is so important. I hope that you're listening to what I have to say here, because I'm not just shouting, oh, Republican this or that. Everything that I'm saying here is qualified, quantified, and you can actually look it up. That's one thing I love. I love when people go ahead and fact check the things that I state, because the one thing that I trust, or the one thing that I hold dearest is reputation. Not only reputation, but truthfulness. The one thing I hold dear in politics is reputation and truthfulness. All you've got is your word. And if I'm asking folks, and by the way, this is the right time to do it anyway, if I'm asking folks to support politics done right, I can only do so if I know they can trust me. I can only do so if they know they can trust me and trust the words and the study and the research that I'm doing to make sure that what they hear is right, and that they don't necessarily have to go ahead and do that research themselves, because the trust is there. But of course, at any time they can fact check the things that I say. So folks, if you really see the importance of a show like this, if you really realize that you're not going to get some of the statements that you get here, some of the truths that you get here on mainstream media because they cannot do so, please, please, please join us. Subscribe to subscribe to patreon.com/politics done right. Again, that is patreon.com/politics done right. We ensure that we're going to provide you the type of news, the type of analyses that you're likely not going to get in this type of detail or with this particular positioning on mainstream media. And the reason why it's not that they're bad, it's just that they can't. And why can't they? Because they owe their existence to advertising, which comes from the corporations, which means they simply cannot go too hard or tell too many very, very truths about these corporations if it is that they need to do so. So please consider going to patreon.com, patreon.com/politics done right. Subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, you can click on the link which I have in the header. If you're on Blog Talk Radio, please just go to Politics Done Right. Or rather, just go to patreon.com/politics done right. I guarantee you. Now, as a sort of a gimme, you get a copy of How to Make America Utopia when the book is complete. But as I write the book chapter by chapter, every chapter I release, you will be unlocked. It will be unlocked for you to see at the Politics Done Right site. Or I don't remember. I think it's at egbertowillies.com. You'll be able to see the chapters as I write it if you are a subscriber. And subscribers is a cup of coffee, my friends. Would most of you, if you see me at Starbucks or if you see me somewhere, buy a cup of coffee and say, hey, Egberto, we want to sit down and have a chat with you. Go ahead and have a cup of coffee. I know just about everybody listening to this would, just like I buy others a cup of coffee, you would buy me a cup of coffee. What I'm saying, why don't you buy Politics Done Right a cup of coffee That's what it's all about. That is how we can get the progressive message going. Patreon.com/politics done right. Patreon.com/politics done right. Okay, folks, this is a call-in show. Nobody's called in so far. I'd love to hear from you. 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Why don't you give me a call and let's talk. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what it's all about. But again, I had a great morning. The reason I don't have a blog of the week, and so today's program is just me ranting, folks. It's just a rant today because I didn't have a blog of the week. And the reason I didn't have a blog of the week is while sitting down at Starbucks today, I had a meeting because guess what we did today? We did some block walking. And you know what? Let me see, do I have that? I wonder if I have that block walking thing on, I don't know if I have the block walking thing on the internet yet, because I'd love you to see a picture of us blog walking. But anyhow, we blog walked today, and I tell you what, it was great. I blog walked with two of the most prolific organizers in my area, who are Patricia Galani and am I getting old? No, I'm not. And Jackie Hazelwood. We had a great time. We block walked, and we put the packets on the people's doors who weren't there. We had a few people that were home that we had time to have great conversation with. And of course, a couple of our database items were off because they were actually Republican homes that were tagged as Democratic. So we were able to clean up the database by knowing which of these doors that we went to, in fact, were not Republican. But you know what? According to Jackie, who spoke to some of the Republicans that we addressed, you know, they were nice. There are times that we go to these homes and folks would just sort of slam the door in your face. We didn't have that today. So I mean, it was what would I say? It was a good thing to do. Now, if you are out there, I want to ask you guys. Everybody have to put it together. Whatever part of the country you're in right now, you have to go out there, and we have to make this happen. We talk about, you know, Trump is the instigator who got all these bombs out there. We know that. I will not allow anybody to remove that guilt from Donald Trump. And everybody need to push this because it is the truth. Everybody that Donald Trump maligned were the people that this young man went ahead and targeted. So there is a direct correlation with who received bombs and who Donald Trump maligned. Let's not forget that. One of the reasons I said I will not let the president off the hook, will not allow them to double talk, is specifically because that, my friends, the same people targeted by the president, listen up, the same people targeted by the president with all his insults, with all his attacks, are the people, hear me out, are the people that this person sent bombs to. So let nobody fool you. The president, again, and I reiterate, the president is directly responsible for that man, for Cesar Sayoc, who sent out the bombs to maim and kill. You must cauterize that in your psyche. No one else is to be blamed but the president. And we, those of you who are Democrats, need to be saying that over and over again. No two ways about it. And if we don't, we'll pay the price. Guess what? I found the picture that I want to send you guys. I'm going to show you. Show a picture of us doing some block walking today, which was a lot of fun. So I mean, if you are out there, folks, get engaged in the political process. Get engaged, and I tell you what, it's worth it. It feels good when you do it. it is like, wow, you are actually participating in your democracy. And more than participating in your democracy, you're ensuring that the evil emanating from Donald Trump, right? The evil emanating from Donald Trump does not stay. So I want you guys to go out there and be a part of it. Here's a picture of us doing our block walk. Check that out. Is that cool or what? We're out there, we're with Kohler, Beto, and all of that, and we went all the way into the neighborhoods and did some block walking. Anybody can do it. It's easy when you do it with others. It's fun, and at the same time, you get a chance to do your civic duty. There are a lot of people who would not have gone to vote, but just once you touch them, once they see others engaged in the process, they want to make a difference themselves. So folks, do make a difference. These two ladies, it's funny because we spent this morning doing the block walking, and then I said, well, I had to get on to do the show. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do write up a blog of the week today, but you know what? I did something else. I went ahead and made a difference. Tomorrow, I'll be going into. I got a call while on the block walk. Another strong activist in town called me up and said, Egberto, I need your help. I'm like, oh God, when? Saturday. Which Saturday? Tomorrow. Oh God. I thought I was going to be able to start fulfilling my duty, the chapter on the book, How to Make America Utopia. So I was ready to sit down and have a quiet Saturday to go ahead and complete that chapter in the book, the second chapter. Well, it turns out that they need a Spanish-speaking person to go block walk in a Latino neighborhood. So when this person called and said she needed my help, the only answer that I could possibly have given was yes. Yes. You need it. You got it. That is what it has to be about, my brothers and sisters. This, the book, the chapter can wait a day. What cannot wait? Because waiting a day to write that chapter is much more efficient and effective going ahead and block walking to bring people into the voting fold than having to wait 2 years because we didn't do what we should have done, what we could have done. So that is the way you have to look at it. So I figured it wasn't a tough call at all. You call and say you need me to do something, you need me to go ahead and block walk, you need me to speak Spanish to folks who probably won't understand the language that we're talking about. I am there. My question to you, for whatever it is that you may need, are you going to be there? Because, we need it now. Are you going to call all your relatives? Are you going to call all your families? Are you going to call everybody that you know just maybe a little bit, just may be needing that little push to go vote? Are you going to do that? I am. I'm going to call everybody that I have a clue is going to vote progressive and ask them respectfully to go vote, because we know it is existential, because we know how important it is, because we know that there's not a whole lot of time left. A lot of people think a lot of this is hyperbole. I heard something today on I think it was Amy Goodman, where somebody said, I think it was it was either Amy Goodman or the morning show on PBS, but I think it was, I don't remember which one it was. But the guy said there are 25% of Americans who he called 401k Trump supporters. And the reason why he called them the 401k Trump supporters is he said these people have made a pact with the devil. Donald Trump, by juicing the economy over the last year and a half with the tax with the tax cut, or the expectation of a tax cut is what I should say. He juiced the economy and he redirected money so that the high-end people got the most of it, or just about all of it. They decided to choose money over citizenship. They decided to choose money over anything else. And in doing so, they made a pact with the devil. And in the long run, it's not only them that will hurt. It's not only the country or the poor folks in the country, but most of them, except for those, the top tier of the plutocracy, will in fact be hurting. So folks, call your people and tell them the story. Talk to them. A lot of people don't want to have that difficult conversation because they believe, oh my God, I don't want to speak to my uncle because my uncle is a Trumpist. My uncle is this, my aunt is this. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to use some of the things that we talk about. You have to talk about their personal economy. You got to talk about how in the long run it hurts them. You have to talk about to them about if they vote for this person, in effect, they're voting against you. If you have a pre-existing condition, you have to let them know is that a Republican vote is a vote to kill many. You have to put it in those terms. You have to put it in terms that people can understand. A vote for a Republican today, a vote for a Trump supporting Republican today is a vote for legalized murder. And I'm not saying that to be astute. I'm not saying that to be crass. I'm not saying that to be any of that. I am saying that because that is the way it is. If you're voting for a party that will deny coverage to the citizenry by removing the Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care Act, you're voting for murder. If you're voting to deny meals to young kids who otherwise won't have meals, you're voting for murder. How can you be a party that claims to be pro-life and the policies that you support are pro-death? And the policies that you support kills people. I had a black Republican on, the conscious mindset with Brother Evans and Brother Cedric Keeler on Sunday. I was on a program with a black Republican, and he told me that I lived on paraphrasing, that I always returned to the plantation because I voted Democratic. And it shocked me because I wanted to think about it a bit. And the guy had an interesting note, and it's true that the Democratic Party was the most anti-civil rights, anti a whole lot of things party before. But then I had to remind him where all those people that were in the Democratic Party went to his party. I also had to remind him about his Ayn Randian ways. I had to also remind him that Ayn Rand, in fact, in as much as she was an objectivism, believed in objectivism and believed in this crap about everybody being able to pull themselves up by the bootstrap, even if somebody have their darn boot on your neck, she was on Social Security when she died. I reminded him that after the 2008 crash, it wasn't the financial sector pulling themselves up by the bootstrap. It was we the people who bailed them out. It was we the people who gave them corporate welfare. I reminded him that when the airplanes land, that the cost of those runways could not have been borne by the types of taxes the wealthy pays solely with their private jets. Upper class welfare. I reminded him that while all of us pay most of our money, or most of the monies we earn is billed for Social Security, the wealthy gets off. Either by paying themselves with capital gains or paying themselves with some method that isn't called income. So we've divided the way we call income in this country, right? We have all kinds of incomes. It's still just income, but based on how we classify it determines whether it is taxed or not. A lot of people don't know that, right? A lot of people don't understand money. A lot of people don't understand how these things work. But brothers and sisters, that is why you had the Powell Manifesto trying to keep everybody dumb. Because the dumber you are, the easier you are to fool. And that is what we do in this country. We have people fooled. We continue to keep them fooled. We continue to keep them uninformed. Move to Amend in Utah. I think it was Salt Lake City, Utah. Had a skit they called Bread and Circus. And the whole idea behind the skit is sort of a smoke and mirrors belly full kind of a deal. They give you cheap food, what we have here in America, cheap food, cheap bad food, and they keep you entertained. So all these new cheap programs that they can make today, all those live, reality TV programs that keep you glued to it. And I'm just as guilty. I mean, that's why I don't watch them at all, because once you start watching them, you get glued to them. Remember Big Brothers? You remember all those things that are sleazy by some of somehow you gravitate to it, and at least I do. I mean, I think I gravitate to some of these because I'm saying I can't believe people act that way. I can't believe that is true. I gotta finish watching this to see what it's like, and that's what they count on, right? So they keep you entertained, no matter how good or bad the entertainment is, and they keep you fed with bad food, but good tasting food, and you're happy. You don't worry about what's really going on. And it continues over and over again. And when you start worrying about something, when you start realizing that you're being screwed, they throw a wrench in. Hey, those brown people are going to hurt you. You got to fight. So they continuously keep your eye off of the ball. Continuously. They continue to keep your eye looking somewhere else, not at those who are hurting you. All right, I think I better go to the to see what my great listeners and great are saying on the site. Okay, welcome aboard, Donaldo Ronaldo Trompas Pedosky, Sherry Sanders, Gene Richardson, welcome aboard. Michael Rudnin says, the comments seem to have vanished on me. I don't know what happened. Michael Dean Newton, welcome aboard as well. Michael, the bomber was a Trump supporter. Of course it was a Trump. News media is the enemy of the people. Absolutely so. Egberto, a president can declassify any information he wants. This isn't treason, at least not the legal definition. You are absolutely right. But once you do something that hurts America, that's treason. Chase Escamilla, welcome aboard, my dear brother. Robert L. Mark, do you think Bomber will use the I was only following orders defense? He should. If I were the bomber, that's what I would do, Robert. I would say, hey, Donald Trump laid out the map, and all I did was follow the map. Just like the guy on the plane the other day who said the reason he was grabbing on the woman is that Donald Trump said, grab them by the you-know-what. So he was just following the president. Okay, Kathleen Morgan. I read a number of comments made on FB posts today which said that the man was being framed by Democrats. Oh, my God. But that's what they do. And if we don't call them out, people usually fall for it and people usually support it. But that's what I'm saying. It is incumbent on all of us to call this stuff out. It is incumbent on all of us to go ahead and tell folks right away, no matter who, where, what, the president is responsible for the bombs that were sent to all these people, and that Mr. Cesar Sayoc was his what? His accomplice. That's all you gotta say. Okay, let's see. I have another message. Let me go ahead and refresh this thing here because I think I just saw on another screen something from Kathleen. Kathleen, let me see real quickly. Bear with me 1 second. Kathleen said, Egberto, are you planning on doing a show on campaign finance reform, maybe with someone from Move to Amend or Wolfpack? Like I said, Kathleen, this is your show. If you want me to do a show on campaign finance reform soon, I think I'd probably do it after the election because we're so much in the thick of things. And, I'm really working the election as well. When I say working, I'm out there like crazy after. I've had some bad times with sleep right now. So I probably won't be able to arrange that till after the election, Kathleen, but I will. And I want to do it in a manner that is not just sort of that, that dry, boring kind of a thing. So I'm going to try to see if I can get folks from all over saying, kind of bringing some good illustrative examples as far as how bad this stuff really is. But Kathleen, thank you for that comment. That is so very important. Okay, tag in Move to Amend. Thank you, my brother. Okay, Berto, you can see the post. Good. Yeah, I can see that. Let's see, Macaroni. If you need to focus on a single point, Republicans want to eliminate pre-existing conditions, protections, making insurance worthless for tens of and you know what you just said there, Rednan, is a very important thing, right? One of the things that we have as Democrats is we have so many different things to talk about because, again, Americans are not one-dimensional. What Republicans have done is turn many of their followers into one-dimensional entities. So they are single-issue voters, and so they can just say he's not a liberal, and they can use that all over the place. And then when that doesn't work, he's a baby killer. And when you do things like that, it is so much, very much easier to campaign. We have to go and we have to support all these different factions that make up what being a Democrat is, because that's who the world really is. That's what we have to do. But it's so difficult, Rednan. It's so difficult. But we do what we have to do. We do what we have to do. Okay, let's see what else is here. Republican was to destroy the social safety net. The result will cause the deaths of tens of thousands. Now, that is something that I think more people need to say. And just like you said it there, Michael, people have to actually say that ad nauseum. They have to repeat it over and over again. Okay, Karen Kahn Wright says, shocked. I'm shocked he's a Do It 45 supporter. Oh, I love the way you said that, Karen. That was, that Do It 45. I gotta look at that one. Demison says she agrees. All right, let's see what else is here. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the show, but I want to make sure that I kind of capture sort of what you guys are talking about on the good old machine here. I just bought me a little stand that worked great with the phone, so I can actually put the phone in a stand while I scroll down the different comments that you guys made. It's a great $12 investment. Okay, let's see. Let's see what else we have here. Bear with me as I refresh the page. Okay, vamos a ver qué más están diciendo mi gente. DOLT 45. Ha! Okay, so Michael, Rudnan, you guys are confusing me. What is DOLT 45 compared to Do It 45? Let's see, or wasn't it Do It 45? Let's see if you answered me. With all these hashtags out there, sometimes it gets a bit confusing. I have too many hashtags to remember. Come on, remember, guys, I'm not 25 anymore. I realized that after going to KPFT every day this week to go pitch to fundraise for KPFT, 90.1 FM here in Houston. It's like, oh, I'm not going to work out today because I'm so darn tired. Anyhow, let me do my last pitch before we close the show down. And here it goes, folks. This is a progressive show. I'd love for you to go ahead and support this show at patreon.com/politicsdoneright. Again, that is patreon.com/politicsdoneright. Please do remember this is a call-in show as well. Please do remember that I don't ask you to do anything that I don't do myself. I am an avid supporter of coffeepartyusa.com, democraticunderground.com, dailycoast.com, the democraticparty.com. Well, it's not the Democratic Party, but my local Democratic Party I'm a subscriber to as well. opednews.com, and many other small support. I support a lot of other small rags. The reason I do that is because we have to support all our progressive outlets, which are not getting, because the progressive message is just not being spent or said throughout the country on the mainstream media. So that's what we try to do. And we don't only do it on this show, Politics Done Right. We also do it in many of the other things we're doing after and before the show. So, you're not just supporting Politics Done Right. You're supporting the news that we provide at egbertowillies.com, at theliberalnetwork.com, at singleparenthealthcarenow.com, at faileddemocrats.com, and all these other places. But the other side support their folks very well. They support them in luxurious styles. We just want to be able to survive. So I ask you to go to patreon.com/politicsdoneright. Again, that is patreon.com/politicsdoneright. Check it out. Don't just think that you don't want to do it. Check it out. Just click here. I have a little message here that I give you as well. Of course, you get the subscription to How to Make America a Utopia. If you give me a suggestion in the group for the book, and it makes it into the book with your permission, we'll cite you, and again, your name will be cauterized throughout the world. So, folks, please consider going to patreon.com/politicsdoneright and become a member. I can guarantee you that going forward, there's a whole lot more to do. There's something that I've been going around as well. In many groups that I'm in, many organizations that I'm in, we use Zoom, these communication applications on the internet that allows you to have conferences. Many people using their computers and cameras in real time and talking like in a conversation. I'm looking into purchasing a Zoom account that will allow those subscribers to do just that as well. That we'll have a few days a month where we can all sit down and have a little chat. That isn't really the program on air, but sometimes I guess we'll snippets of it. We'll make it on egbertowillies.com, the blog. So there's a lot that I have planned after the election. Right now things are so hectic with the election. We can't get a whole lot of these things done that I want to get done, but there's a whole lot more we intend to do. So, folks, again, please go to patreon.com/politicsdoneright. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you know how I end this baby all of the time.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.
1, 2, 3, 4.